few weeks ago, I got to go to the Autism Symposium up in North Georgia, and I got to meet some really great people. Our table was located right next to Midge Smith, Tanner from Love on the Spectrum's sister. Midge is now the community partnerships manager for a new mobile app called Wable. And I think you're going to kind of dig it. So let's talk to Midge now. Hi, Midge. How you doing?
I'm so good. How are you?
Thanks for coming on. It's been a couple weeks since I saw you at the big autism symposium up in Fawn, Georgia. And I thought maybe we could catch up on all things Tanner because, everybody wants to know what your brother's doing now.
Yep. I was so grateful that you were at that symposium as well. It made it much more entertaining for me at my little table. I was like, I have some friends near me. That was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So what's Tanner doing?
So he is, being famous, doing his thing. We are actually headed to LA this week to do an event for Next for Autism. Netflix is a joke week for the Night of Too Many Stars. But he has been busy traveling, doing speaking events. Him and my mom just talking about his autism story and sharing, all the things that he's learning and doing right now. So traveling, and then in between his travels, he's working up at the Shepherd Hotel up in Clemson, living independently. So he will land from a trip and then come, and the next morning he'll be working his job. So we're really proud of him, and doing his social media thing.
Does he know how much his life has changed in like the last 3 years? Does that sit with him a little bit?
It does, and we ask him a lot. We're like, Tanner, do you enjoy being famous? Do you like the pace of your life? Do you like traveling? And he really does. I think God knew what he was doing when he put Tanner in this position, because he genuinely enjoys seeing new places. He enjoys meeting strangers. And, even when we decided, or he kind of voiced that he didn't want to do Love on the Spectrum anymore, we asked, do you still want to do social media stuff? Do you like that part of it? And he did enjoy that piece of it. So we're kind of still riding that wave as long as we can, and as long as he's happy doing it.
And with that, Tanner took on a very big job as the face of a new mobile app designed for neurospicy young adults, and that's called Wable. And you, Midge, for what it's worth, also signed on to be the community and partnerships manager.
Yes.
Tell everyone about Wable.
Yeah, I tagged along. So Tanner joined before the app actually launched in the U.S. Holly, our founder, reached out to Tanner's team, and he represents the friendship side of the app. So Wable stands for Willing and Able. It's a free social networking app designed for the neurodivergent community, to find friends, to find dates, connect with people in their community, to find jobs and resources and events. And we've got all sorts of safety features built into the app just to make it more of an inclusive, safe space, specifically for the neurodivergent community to connect and meet.
Explain some of the safety features, because I know moms and dads are going to want to know, and our young adult self-advocates too are going to want to know, how can someone know that you're actually on the spectrum or not?
Yeah. So within the app, it takes a couple extra minutes to set up your profile, because we've got some AI technology that has more security in that profile verification, just so we know who's behind the app, who's behind the profile, those photos. We've got safety videos. So Jody Rogers is a licensed counselor from Love on the Spectrum, and she has safety videos within the app talking about social anxiety and response time, travel safety, that kind of thing. And then we've got all sorts of sensory enhancements, and you can change the color and the theme and things like that within the app. So
now you also you mentioned that you have a couple of different tabs available within the app, one about jobs and job connections. So for example, walk me through, say for instance, I owned a business in Nebraska and I wanted to list that I hire neurodivergent folks. How do I get in touch? Do I get in touch with you? How does one? You're a busy lady then. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of business want to showcase the fact that they do and hire inclusivity and have that as part of their, culture.
Yeah. So a big part of our app is our toolbox. That's where we've got those safety videos. We have a places to hang out tab where we list, inclusive and accessible spots to meet up and have dates. And then our job board. So a big part of my role as partnerships manager is finding organizations all over the U.S. and the world that hire and train and manage their employees and hire inclusively, and do it well. There's a difference between saying that you hire inclusively and actually doing it well. So
Right.
that's been a really sweet part of my job is talking and creating those relationships with organizations, and making sure that they are doing it well, and then adding them to the job board so that our users can find jobs in spaces that fit their needs and their talents. We've got coffee shops and cafes and restaurants, but also tech jobs and design companies and music and all sorts of companies. So I'm kind of in that phase of searching for more and more places so we have a diverse.
For sure. And companies who are listening right now or watching this show,
Retail.
make sure you're reaching out to Midge. We'll get you your contact information here at the end,
Great.
but to let her know so that she can list you in that job connections board.
Yeah.
Now, as far as resources, like, we house and host Table Talk here in Atlanta, but we also host Table Talk in other parts of the country like Utah and Mountain Home, Arkansas. So how does Table Talk, how can we get listed on a resource tab? Because if people want to come to speed friending or speed dating, this is a great resource for everybody.
Yeah, Table Talk is something that we really like, exactly what we want to share with our users. So an update that's coming is an events tab and our resources tab. So we want to list local events and we want to list resources, anything from podcasts to therapies to any kind of resource that might be helpful for our users in their daily life. We want to list those and share those.
And how do you feel like vetting some of those people are going to come into place? Because let me tell you, so many people are going to go, hey, and I'm not saying anything bad against ABA companies, but let's just say, for example, ABA companies will inundate you and flood you, but not all of them are necessarily the best to work with or have the best resources or do ABA the way it's done in 2026. So is there a filter that you guys can use that helps?
There will be a whole process of, kind of creating those personal relationships. Anyone that's on the app and that we're pushing out to our users who we care so much about, we've gone through a process of creating that relationship. Like, for example, I know you and I know about Table Talk, and I've heard feedback not only from you and your team, but from people who have done Table Talk. So we want to create those relationships before we, push that out to our users as a helpful resource.
I love that. And so now, I was thinking, because I come up with ideas all the time, Midge, and after meeting you and having the pleasure to spend a couple of days with you in North Georgia, I was thinking, the Wable app needs a Wable-able car, and Tanner and Midge need to hit the road and go across, rural America and go to places like Nebraska and Idaho and hit all these places, whether they're colleges or individual towns, and really roll out this Wable app so that people can find connections all over the country, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually, after you mentioned the idea, we were like, we should do like a university tour and like take a trip like all the way across the US and visit these universities. And, connection in the neurodivergent community, there's a lot of space that needs to be filled in that. And there's connection that they want and need, for this community. So we want to create that safe space, whether that's, first off online on the apps, but then if we can, meet some of our users
in person. Yeah. It's funny because, when a lot of these colleges have neurodivergent programs right off the bat, right? And so to see Tanner coming in a Wable car, a bright purple car that says Wable, I mean, people would be going crazy, right?
That would be wild. We'd have quite some adventures across the U.S., I'm sure.
You'd have to start your own podcast about that. Seriously, what happens in the next stop, right? And meanwhile, visit the biggest ball of twine and the biggest mailbox. And
but it would just be, it's so amazing. And even the events that we've already done, we did one in New York and South Carolina and Atlanta. And it's just amazing to meet our users in person and get their feedback on the app. And, some of them met on the app and then that's their first time meeting in person. So we get to kind of witness those connections. And at our Atlanta date that we just did a couple weeks ago, a lot of the people, had been to Table Talk before and they're like, I already know how to do a speed dating event. Like I do Table Talk all the time. I'm like, okay, you run the show. You run the show if you know what you're doing. But they had so much great feedback about Table Talk.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So tell everybody a little bit about the cost. Now, I know you said that it's free for people to get on. Is there kind of an advanced version or whatnot that does cost money? And what does that advanced feature give to people who want to take advantage of everything Wable has to offer?
Yep. So Wable is free to download and use, and we encourage all users jump on, try the free version for a while and see how you like it, see how, the connections that you're making. We do have a premium version that's $14.99 a month that allows you to go backwards on users you may have skipped, to view users globally, and a couple other enhancements. But because we're kind of more of a startup here in the US right now, we're in that kind of a growing phase, we noticed that, on the free version, you can only see users within 100 kilometers of you. And people from small towns like me, there's not that many people in your area. So we want all of our users to be able to fully, experience the app and make as many connections as possible. So right now, for the next 6 months-ish to a year, we're probably going to everyone will have premium benefits for free.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, just because we want everyone to be able to experience the app. But we do encourage people, like, jump on and explore the app for free because you can use it just as easy than getting there.
Well, a couple of our participants that go to Table Talk that came to your event here in Atlanta have downloaded the Wable app and are, finding things. In fact, one gentleman has an interview today. I don't think it was posted on the Wable app, but he's like, this is something that Wable should have. And I was like, well, we'll tell Midge about it.
I'm the girl.
Midge, how can people find Wable? How can people find you, especially when it comes to those job connection boards and resources as you move a little bit forward inside the mobile app? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so on all social media, we're at Wable app, WABLE, and then our website is www.hellowable.com. And you can find our contact info on there and our support email and all that kind of stuff. And then I can share my email if you want to put it below as well.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being on the show, and I hope your trip to LA is fruitful and exciting, and you get all gussied up. I know I love seeing Tanner and Connor and all of the cast members in their tuxedos and their dresses. They look so beautiful, and they look like they're just having the time of their life.
They are. We're proud of them, doing so good. Very grateful to be in this position.
Well, thank you so much again, Midge, and everybody go get Wable right here with Life with the Spectrum. Thanks so much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
So just like Midge said, if you have a young adult that's interested in making connections, possibly dating, looking for jobs and resources and events, I think they're keeping the premium status for a little bit longer for free. So you can download the Wable app out of your Google Play or Apple App Store and kind of get started with this. Of course, we always encourage you to meet IRL, so coming to events like Table Talk, and we can bring Table Talk to you in your city. All you have to do is reach out, Gina@gcast.com, or just look for lifewiththespectrum.com, and you can get my contact information off of that. We appreciate you checking in. More and more great people signing up here to be on Life with the Spectrum in the coming months. We want to showcase the best of the best, really moving the needle forward in the world of neurodivergence and what it looks like in 2026 and where it's going. So stay with me with brand new episodes on the way right here on Life with the Spectrum. See ya.
Bye.